Hi there, this is Art and Such with part 2 of my Guardian of the Galaxy's Rocky Raccoon pattern on the Rainbow Loom. And in part 1 we got our body ready. You'll have a floppy tail right now, but we can secure that after. For our head, we're going to start on the loom with 2 brown bands coming down from the top peg on the center to the top on the right, and 2 from the top center to the top left. 3 sets of double brown bands coming down either side, 4 sets of double brown in the middle, and from your 4th sides to your 5th centers we're bringing 2 brown bands, and they can go in from either direction first. The order doesn't matter so much there. We are going to make our eyebrows, so take 2 white bands and come from your 2nd center to your 2nd right, and from your 2nd center to your 2nd left. For the eyes, you can use black bands, black beads, or you can use black bands. I'll use black bands today, but I'm going to start by using one of Kate Schultz's techniques here by taking a single band and twisting it and placing this on the pegs for the eyes. This is our 2nd peg to our 2nd peg. And then we're going to take 2 black bands or beads if that's your choice, and you're going to wrap your bands 3 times onto your hook, 1, and 2nd band 3 times. And this will be pulled onto a fur colored brown band here. Try and keep them a little bit separate while you do this if you can, because it'll make it easier for the next part. This comes from that 2nd peg to the 2nd peg under the eyebrows, and we're going to take our hook in between and pull one of those bands underneath. We need a single band, and it can be doubled over or just straight across on the 4th peg to the 4th peg, raised above the center 4th. For the nose, let's take a single black, wrap it 3 times on the hook, and pull that onto 3 whites. 3 white bands, pull your black on top, put this back, and then we're going to put this onto 2 whites. And our 2 whites are going to stretch across. We'll add our whiskers on after we're finished. This comes from the third on the side to the 3rd on the other side. And for our ears, we're taking a single, wrapping it 3 times. You can do it more times if you want it to be a little tighter and more tapered at the end. And we're going to do 2 doubled over bands. Put it on top of 2 doubled over. There's 1 and 2. Again, it can be longer or shorter as you wish. This goes onto the top side peg. I'm going to put this first one on the left, and then we'll make another for the right. So a single wrap 3 times and pulled onto 2 doubled over bands. And 2. And then the last thing we'll do before we put our body on is to make some cheeks. So get your white bands ready. And I tried this a couple of different ways, but I like the effect I got here. This is with 3 single white bands pulled onto a single white. So take a single, wrap it 3 or 4 times. You can make it tighter if you like, it's up to you. And we're going to do this a 2nd time right next to it. If your bands are really stretched out, you will want to wrap it a little more. Otherwise it'll look kind of loose. And you're going to take a single white and pull these all on top. This can be a little tricky, so do it slowly, take your time. Make sure the hook opening is pointed towards you. And we're just going to kind of try and pinch these over. And the ends are going to come from the 2nd side peg to the 3rd side peg. And we'll repeat this on the other side. It will bulk out a little bit once we are looping. So a single, unwrap it 3 or 4 times, and another single 3 or 4 times, and one more. If you do want his cheeks to be thicker or wider, if you want the puffiness to go further, you can always add more or wrap these tighter, or you can even take 2 at a time and wrap them together, but I found that was a little too bulky for my liking anyway. I can see this isn't sliding, so I've missed one. There we go. This is coming on the other side, second peg to the third peg. Now we're ready to put on the body. So this is going on the 5th peg in the center, right where our brown finished, and I'm going to stretch this down as I did the tail, hopefully with a little more success, so that now I can see underneath this next bands, and I'll be taking my top 2 bands to the side that they came from, and my next 2 are going to the other side, and the last ones are going up. We're going to loop up the center, pulling the nose through as we go. Just makes it a little bit easier if you can do it now. You're going to push back the bands for the eyes and find your bottom 2 bands and bring those upwards. And now we're just going to stop for 1 second and take these white bands out from the center and over to the respective sides that they came from. This creates the eyebrow effect. And then you can finish looping the center. And we can loop up either side, push back your cat bands, take the bottom 2 brown, push back the extensions, the side pieces, take the bottom 2 brown, bring it up and over, and your last 2, you want the open part of your hook away from you, remember, just so it isn't catching other things, and the last 2 to the center, and we'll do the other side. Push back everything but the bottom 2 bands. And don't worry if your white bands are getting a little bit covered, they're gonna be easy to pop out once we're at the end. We'll take a single band for color band and pop it through the bands on the top peg in the center. This is gonna hold it all together. So we'll put the other end on, take this bottom one, bring it over the top one to create a slip knot. Hold on to that and you can take off some of the tension and remove this from your loom. So it's a little bit messy now. We're going to adjust the nose. We're going to move these brown bands back and pop the side of the face through. Our eyes look pretty good. Our ears are in place. You can even things out a little bit. Your top band here, securing band, needs to be hidden away in the back or attached to something. This is where the C-clip comes in. I'm just going to hook it onto there for now. If you have any loose bands, you can work those in and attach those to the C-clip. Give everything a tug. You'll see your tail is still pointing down sort of strangely. So you'll want to move this to the back. And what I did to keep mine in place was to go through an orange band in the back. And we'll push up the tail to where we want it. And we're going to go through a band or 2 on the tail. And then I'm going to take another band. The color doesn't matter. It can be brown or orange. And bring this back under those bands. Put the other end on, create a slip knot, and this can be woven through and secured on the C-clip as well. Alright, so there is our tail, and there is our Rocky Raccoon. Oh, and we need some whiskers. Whiskers, you're going to go through 1 brown band, through the nose part, through 1 more brown band. This is just to make it a little more secure, and you can make it as thick as you want. You can use 2 or 3 bands. I use 3. Pull them back through. This might take you a minute, it's okay. Give them a really good stretch, and then you can put your scissors through and cut the bands so that you have some whiskers. or you can even leave them like this if you like the puffy look. And there is our Rocky Raccoon. And thank you for watching. I hope you'll check out some of my other Guardian of the Galaxy characters and some of my other videos. Alright, bye guys.